Hello, and welcome to our Korean Healthcare Showcase in partnership with the Korean SMEs and Startups Agency, or COSME. My name is Stephen Collins. I'm the CEO of Matter. We are a healthcare technology incubator and an innovation hub built on a belief that collaboration between entrepreneurs and industry leaders is the best way to develop healthcare solutions. Our mission is to accelerate the pace of change of healthcare, and we do three things in service of this mission. First, we incubate startups. Since we launched 7 years ago, we've worked with more than 700 companies, ranging from very early to growth stage startups, and we have a suite of services to help them at every stage of development. Our member companies have raised more than $4 billion to fuel their growth. Second, we work with large organizations, health systems, life sciences companies, payers, technology companies, to help them strengthen their innovation capacity. We help them find value in emerging technology solutions, unlock the potential of their internal innovators, and create a more human-centered healthcare experience through system-level collaborations. Third, we are a nexus for people who are passionate about healthcare innovation. We bring people together to be inspired and learn and connect with each other. And we produce a lot of programs, including large-scale events for the broader community, as well as small forums that are exclusively for our members. We have been thrilled to partner with COSME to support 5 companies from South Korea to help them advance their solutions in the US healthcare market. The group participated in a 6-month innovation program designed to provide resources and mentorship to better understand the nuances and the intricacies of the US healthcare market and to help prepare them for US market success. And today, each of the companies will share how their product is helping improve health and healthcare globally. I want to thank our partners at COSME, especially Director Seok-Hwan Lee and Molly Park and Deanna Verho and Sohee Hong, who have worked with us so closely on this program. And before we jump into the presentations from each of the companies, I'd like to introduce Seok-Hwan Lee, who is the director of the COSME office in Chicago. Director Lee.
Thank you, Stephen. Good afternoon. My name is Seok-Hwan Lee, and I'm the director from the Chicago office of Korea SMEs and Startup Agency, also known as COSME. It is our honor to welcome everyone here today for the Korean Medical Healthcare Showcase. This showcase is part of the 6-month US market adoption program with Matter to support excellent Korean SMEs and startups to enter US market. COSME is a Korean government agency established in 1979 to provide comprehensive support to Korean small and medium-sized enterprises, including startups. In 2021 alone, we supported 22,000 SMEs and provided $5 billion in financial support. With this mission in our mind, we initiated a collaboration with Matter last year and achieved successful outcomes for the business growth of Korean companies in the US market. We are excited to continue our 2nd year of sponsoring Matter's US market adoption program. We are very proud to present ELSE Medical, Soundable Health, Emocog, Thyroscope and RF Medical and their innovative healthcare solutions. I want to thank Stephen Collins, Julius, and Katie Costco, and the rest of the Matter team for all their hard work in organizing today's event. I would also like to express my appreciation to Ferdinand Belga and Ben Mosker for your role as EIRs in sharing your business expertise and knowledge in each company. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Director Lee. It has been such a pleasure working with you. And speaking of Katie Costco, I would like to introduce her. She's my colleague. She's been the point person on this program, and she will moderate this showcase for us. Katie.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Casco with the partnerships team at Matter. So in a few minutes, you'll hear each company who will have 7 minutes to pitch. So with that, I'd like to introduce our first company with Haisong Lee, CEO of RF Medical.
So hi, I'm Haisong Lee, CEO of RF Medical. It's my pleasure to be introducing our company to you today. So let's get started. A couple of years back, one of our co-founders had to rush his mother to the hospital. She had to take an MRI exam, but she could only do so after 30 minutes waiting in the corridor. Then she had a hard time in narrow, noisy scanner for another 30 minutes. The whole family felt helpless waiting. She's now recovered, but she had to book regular checkup scan 1 month ahead of time. This waiting time is not a problem just for this family, but it impacts up to 40 million patients just in USA, and it translates $10 billion of revenue foregone for healthcare providers in USA. The solution we provide is simple but powerful. Swift MR is deep learning-based MRI reconstruction solution. A standard of care scan protocol usually takes 30 minutes. If you adjust some parameters on existing scanner, you are already able to reduce the scan time. But this is not used in clinical setting because the output image quality is noisy and blurry, as you see here. Swift MR takes this image as input and reconstructs it back to standard of care quality, or even better. Reduction in scan time has a huge value, which makes patients happy, technologists happy, physicians and institutions happy. Swift MR is fully automated and is integrated into MRI scan room. We offer flexible pricing plans. It is regulatory cleared both in Korea and USA. Now you may be wondering, would MRI vendors such as GE, Siemens, and Philips want to offer similar solution in their scanner? Of course they do, but think of it this way. If you replace an older scanner, you earn $2 million. Whereas if you upgrade an older scanner with AI software, you earn at max $200K. We are free from those internal conflicts. And we are vendor neutral, meaning one installation, you can upgrade a whole fleet of MRIs across GE, Siemens, and Philips. Now compared to third-party software vendors, such as Untitled Medical, we crush them with image quality. Not only are we consecutive winner of the world-only Fast MRI Challenge, but also customers are choosing us over them in the market. So this shows the market tractions, which is building very fast in Korea. We started our service since Q4 last year, and as of today, we've reached almost 100 install bases. Accumulated total exceeded 200,000 scans. A conversion rate after a month of free trial is at 60%. Once converted, retention rate is 100%. We are pretty confident our product and business model can be taken global. Our new market penetration strategy is implemented into track. We deploy an early adoption program for a few months before scaling up in order to calibrate the product if necessary. In parallel, clinical research will be conducted with locally renowned institutions to back up regulatory and marketing. We plan to provide our product to 15 countries next year and more than 40 countries in the following years, according to regulatory timeline. We are confident that we can deliver for two things. One is the resource to do so. We are able to secure $20 million for Series B this July. Two, we have an amazing team. Convergence is a big keyword, which bring together clinical, business, and engineering experts under one roof, and we hire those who share our passion for the data-driven world. We've recently updated our vision reflexive in now reads data-written well-being. What they mean is the more timely and abundantly accurate personal health data is obtained, the healthier lives become, which is why we are focusing on increasing diagnostic efficiencies in both imaging and in vitro diagnostics. Our second product is a venipuncture automation robot, which enables quick and painless venipuncture for all, including those with difficult veins. The product pipeline goes on. So thank you for listening, and we are welcome collaboration opportunities.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Haisong Lee. Next up, we have Bonnie Koo, Business Development and Senior Manager of Soundable Health.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bonnie Koo. I'm the Senior Manager in Business Development. I'll give you a quick introduction about Soundable Health. As you may be able to tell with our name, we deal with sounds that our bodies make. We collect ambient sounds around patients using microphones from smartphones. Then our proprietary AI engine extracts clinical-grade biomarkers from sounds. So we call them digital audible biomarkers. They capture symptoms from ambient sounds to bring a deeper understanding to your condition. So that's what we do. So everyone knows about hypertension and diabetes, and that there's a considerable number of patients in the US. Did you know there was a comparable number of patients in prostate and bladder health? This population is significantly underaddressed with 72 million number. In fact, 1 in 3 women and men over 40 years will experience urological symptoms. Its probability becomes higher and more definite as you age. So basically, this is going to happen to everyone as you age. And we know in order to manage hypertension, measuring blood pressure is essential. The equivalent of that in prostate and bladder health is uroflow. They look at amount and speed of urine, but at the moment, this only can be performed in urologist offices. So what are the consequences not having access to these uroflows? So patients with prostate and bladder health, they spend 4 to 7 years from disease onset before they identify symptoms and seek proper health treatment. And during that time, their prostate, bladder, and kidney status become worse. So in other words, the time to diagnosis is long, and that giving treatments at the right time is difficult. So we brought to the market a product, ProwP mobile app, that captures urine sounds and analyze them to provide uroflow results. The way how ProwP works is beautifully simple. You don't need anything else other than your own smartphone. You just take your phone with you to the bathroom, and our deep learning algorithm will analyze the urine sound to give you the uroflow results. These results are the exact ones that you get in the urology office: uroflow curve, amount of urine, time to urinate. And these results are important to have a better understanding for diagnosis of enlarged prostate, overactive bladder, stricture, retention, etc. So in order to build this technology, we've done multiple validation studies to back up the accuracy and reliability, and they have been published in the renowned conferences and journals. In the apple-to-apple comparison with the gold standard of examination uroflow equipment, it showed excellent correlation in terms of urination volume and flow rate, and the percentage is 97 to 98%. So the ProwP system comes into 2 components: app for the patient and the clinician dashboard for the clinicians, and they're currently being adopted in the urologist practice and research studies. The most common use case is doctors recommend the app to their patients during the visit, and the patients will take home to use the app during the appointment, after the appointment, and we'll be using that data to compare and evaluate the treatment efficacy, and they can be medications and surgeries. This is particularly important for urological conditions because the symptoms tend to be subjective and they need objective data. And this could also lead to reduction of visits, further improving workflow efficiency. And we've also observed a high patient engagement where patients get results right away and gives them instant gratification. So our patient population that are in 60s and 70s, they will do on average 90 measurements per month. So despite the concerns around digital literacy in senior population, we've had a very good patient engagement. So how does ProwP compare to others? ProwP has the upper hand of being a software as opposed to hardware. It improves accessibility. So you don't have to visit the office to get it done. You don't have to wait for the delivery of the hardware. It means there's a low scalability cost. ProwP also has superiority over collecting longitudinal real-world data. The reason why this is important is because current snapshot uroflow data often provides inaccurate, poor quality data when 1/3 of the results are unusable for doctors. So this actually leads to poor diagnosis and treatment recommendations by doctors. So overall, ProwP achieves high level in both grounds, And we actually have the largest real-world data with over 250,000 home Euroflows, outclassing any other companies in the area. In terms of the adoption in practices, we have been building the sales pipeline. We started optimizing the adoption process with plans to scale the full urology population using digital means. We've observed traction starting to take off this year with recently detecting lots of word of mouth referrals. In parallel, we are in conversation with multiple industry partners for projects, further enhancing our presence in the urology space. And here are our provider partners that are using ProwP in their practice. In terms of the business models, ours is a SaaS model with monthly subscription. The doctors will pay a couple of $100 for the clinician dashboard. Patients that want advanced self-care features will pay extra dollars per month. Our initial targets are urologists and urogynecologists, then supported by their endorsements and our clinical evidences. We're expecting B2B license deals with pharmas and medtech companies, and they'll be for digital clinical trial solutions and digital marketing companions. So we'll be offering them or out licensing our API and SDK to our strategic partners. So we started to create some initial revenue this year, and we expect to grow to reach $1 million recurring revenue in the coming year. Beyond the urology offering, there are two ways we're building up the company portfolio. First of all, we're expanding to other indications such as respiratory and neurological diseases. And for each vertical, on top of the validated biomarkers, we're building a monitoring platform and integrating therapeutic features. We are a team of seasoned engineers and business professionals with strong tech and execution focus. We also have top American KOLs in urology and respiratory, guiding our medical evidence and product development. They have been greatly helpful in technology adoption and practices and reaching out to other potential customers. So we raised $5.8 million in equity, was awarded $2 million for non-diluted grant. We're seeking $10 million to commercialize ProwP at scale and launch our other products. So the proceeds will be used to build a commercial team to scale and for next product developments. So as a summary, we are Soundable Health. We develop digital audible biomarkers for chronic symptoms. Our first product, ProwP, is a non-invasive software medical device serving patients with urological condition. The second product is Coffee, which is a cough monitor, which allows objective symptom tracking and severity assessments. The next assets will be in neurodegenerative symptoms and rehabilitation, and $10 million fund will be used to fuel growth of these products. So that's the end of the presentation. We have ProwP available on App Store apps, so feel free to download and we'll be happy for any questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Next up, we have Hans Funk, Chief Strategy Officer, as well as CEO of Europe with Emocog.
Alrighty. Well, hey everyone. My name is Hannes Funk and not Hans Funk, but I know that causes some difficulties for Americans most of the time. I am the CSO of Emocog, you guessed it, Korean startup that actually aims at nothing less but, well, fundamentally changing the way how we tackle one of our society's biggest and in the future even bigger challenges, which is dementia. And thereby, our field of application is a rather grim one, right? Because dementia is one of the most prevalent and also one of the most feared diseases amongst the elderly, with more than 55 million patients as of today, and many more people being indirectly affected by it as they basically have to watch their loved ones fade away in front of their eyes. And while this is a rather pessimistic perspective, we actually believe, hey, there's reason for a bit more optimism because, okay, dementia cannot be cured yet, but it can be slowed down, it can be prevented at times, it can be treated. So why not facing it with a bit more hope, right? And with exactly this attitude in mind, Emocog was founded by 3 university professors from Seoul, South Korea in January 2021. Those guys realized that combining their 40+ cumulative years of research on the topic and digitalization will allow them to really bring the dementia patient journey to a new level, mainly because digital tools allow for a more customized, more personalized, more engaging, hence more efficient approach to dementia than traditional tools do, mainly because digital tools allow us to directly address the one core asset that we have in fighting dementia, which is obviously our brain. Therefore, we at Emocog are strongly convinced that we should tackle dementia digitally. Yet to really revolutionize how we tackle dementia, we have to add one more piece to the puzzle, and that is we have to tackle it holistically. What do I mean with that? Well, dementia never just affects the patient, it always affects her social surrounding as well. Hence, we have to consider and cater to both these spheres if we want to fight dementia efficiently and well holistically. And we at Emocog do exactly that by having developed and currently developing two products. The first product is targeted at the patients, and it is a cognitive training app for mild cognitive impairment, MCI, and early dementia called Cogthera. Currently, there are around 20 million patients with these symptoms in our markets, the EU, the US, and South Korea, and we expect that number to double over the next 30 years. And what we can do for these many, many patients is actually, well, we can enable them to have a longer independent life by significantly slowing down the cognitive decline coming with MCI and early dementia. We do that by providing an app-based 12-week training cycle. And the great thing is that Cogthera is AI-driven and hence highly individualized and personalized, meaning that based on your performance, based on your cognitive status quo, your training will look differently from my training, which makes a lot of sense given that your brain is different from my brain. However, even with a slowed down cognitive decline, most of our patients will require care of someone in the future. And most likely this care will be provided by someone out of the patient's social surrounding, for example, a relative. And thereby, caregiving is a huge challenge for all the people involved, the patients, but especially the caregivers. And to support caregivers and relatives, we are currently developing a companion app. The goal of this app is, well, firstly, provide answers to the roughly 6 million questions that you have when dementia hits your family, while MDs most often do not have the time to actually take care of your questions. Second of all, we want to digitalize and hence, well, make it more efficient how to interact with the bureaucratic stakeholders of care, so care insurances and health insurances. It is necessary to communicate with these guys as they are here to support you, but nowadays communicating and interacting with them is very cumbersome, it's very analog, very slow, and we want to digitalize it and make it more efficient thanks to our companion app. Also, we want to enable our users to actively support the patient's therapy by providing them tips and tricks and exercises in terms of nutrition, social interaction, training, you name it, to actually create this atmosphere of, hey, we are in this together, I can support my patient in fighting dementia. Last but not least, we want to use this app to actually support our users in maintaining and fostering their own mental and emotional health, which is absolutely crucial as we believe that there are not many things that are more exhausting than caregiving. To sum it up, what we want to do with this companion app is in the end enable our users to spend less time on cumbersome care management and more time on what matters most, which is spending time with their loved ones and while giving them care in the most sustainable fashion there is. Having said all that, where are we right now? Where are we on this journey? Well, as I've told you, all what we do is based on the many years of research of our founders. And after our foundation, January 2021, we were lucky to collect our Series A funds in December of 2021. With that money, we recently finalized the Korean version of our training app Cogthera, and we are currently on the way of actually bringing Cogthera to the EU and to the US, meaning we adapted to the local markets. Also, we recently kicked off the development of the companion app, and we will develop that out of Germany, expected to finalize it by Q1 2023. Over the last 6 months, as all of our colleagues here, we had the great luck and the great pleasure to work with you guys at Meta. And I have to say that this was really an outstanding journey that helped us tremendously. And I just, highlighted some points of the insights or some of the insights that we got thanks to you. First of all, Meta enabled us to really talk to local players in the medical system, first and foremost MDs, enabling us to really get an understanding of how we have to adapt our products to really provide a localized value add to the local US market. Second of all, we could really deep dive into various, channels of how to monetize our product, from B2C to prescription to B2C to B, whatever you name it. Matter really did a great job in connecting us with people that helped us to kind of crystallize our strategy to how to earn money with our products. Last but not least, we initially planned on expanding into the US just with our cognitive training app. Yet thanks to Meta and the people that we met through Meta, we quickly realized that there is a massive demand for this companion app as well, and that actually bundling the patient app, so the cognitive training app and the social surrounding app, hence the companion app, would be our go-to win strategy for the US. Having said all that, I really want to thank you guys at Meta. I really want to thank Alexa and our EIR Van Moth for supporting us that much. And we are more excited than ever for our go-to market in our home market, South Korea, in the EU, but especially the US. And we are very much looking forward to continue working with Meta on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Hans. Next up, we have Jamie Park, CEO of Thyroscope.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jamie Park and CEO at Thyroscope, where we developed the world's first digital monitoring solution for thyroid disease. Numerous healthcare solutions targeting chronic disease such as diabetes and asthma have been crafting enormous values for the whole healthcare systems. However, there is no digital monitoring solution globally which targets thyroid dysfunction, a typical chronic disease that accounts for nearly 6% of the world's population. Glandy is the first one for thyroid dysfunction in the world. Based on biosignal data from commercialized wearables and PHR data input by app, Glandy provides 5 digital monitoring and managing solutions for thyroid disease. The 2 upper risk level monitoring solutions are medical device softwares, which I will introduce mainly in this presentation, and the other 3 are wellness solutions for smart disease management. In order to clarify the problem of thyroid dysfunction, here I compare diabetes and thyroid dysfunction. The biggest difference between the 2 diseases is that there is no alternatives for patients with thyroid dysfunction to monitor disease other than to take a blood test in the hospitals. The glucose meter for diabetes has 2 main functions: enabling to screen mild patients who can manage disease by themselves without hospital visits, and also detect disease progresses in daily lives. So it contributes significant efficiency throughout the treatment processes. However, this is totally unable for patients with thyroid dysfunction. The hospital visits of thyroid dysfunction patients is truly inefficient patient journey. Patients usually pay 4 times of annual hospital visits with a long time of waiting for reservation and traveling to treatment and blood tests. Even after taking blood tests, they have to wait for 2 more days to have additional hospital visits to get prescription based on the test results. So what we developed to resolve the problem is a digital technology to predict thyroid hormone levels of patients on a daily basis. Therefore, we can provide benefits for patients just like the value of glucose meters. With Glandy, patients can take early diagnosis to prevent the worsening of the disease and also screen mild patients to cut unnecessary blood tests. Second problem is thyroiditis, which is a complication of the dysfunction. This causes patients' eyes to be bulged, so that it severely ruins patients' quality of life, as you can see in the pictures. Early diagnosis can reduce such cosmetic and functional after effects, but patients often fail in it because patients with thyroid dysfunction visit endocrinologists or general physicians, while thyroiditis is a specialty of ophthalmologists. Therefore, we developed a predictive AI system for thyroiditis by mimicking the diagnostic process of ophthalmologists. Based on patients' pictures taken by their smartphone, we extract features of eye parts and evaluate occurrence of thyroiditis. So Glandy enables early diagnosis to minimize after effects while reducing additional medical expenses and times from the recovery. The true value of our solutions is that patients and doctors can know disease status outside of the hospital, which enable a remote data-driven communication between patients and doctors through Glendy app, Glendy dashboard. Firstly, doctor prescribes Glendy app to the patients. Then patients monitor their disease by themselves. Once the disease progression is detected by the app, then patients can request doctors for telemedicine while transferring their PHR data to Glendy dashboard. Therefore, a doctor can decide whether the patients need to visit hospital. This is the real-world scenario of how we will innovate the patient journey for its way stronger efficiency and safety. This is about global competitor analysis, and there is no direct competitor in the market. MyMedLab is a lab test company adopting a cost-saving models by prescribing blood tests online, but still one time of blood test costs about $150. Pilipala and Boosted Thyroid are just wellness app to collect the patient's medication intake symptoms and visualize them. Compared to our competitors, we have clear competitiveness in both service coverage and cost effectiveness. As the market is not created yet, we calculate the market size by multiplying the number of patients and monthly subscription fee. The total market is truly bigger due to the largest number of patients diagnosed. We are the best team of fast learning, quick action, and expertise. I'm handling over business development and strategies, and our CTO is an endocrinologist, treating 14,000 thyroid patients a year, and also used to be a patient with thyroid dysfunction. Therefore, he truly learned the necessity of this monitoring solution, so that has conducted clinical trials from 2016 and invented the first digital monitoring technology. We are working on pivotal clinical trials in the US and planning to initiate patient recruitment from early next year. Then we will apply the clinical data for both the FDA and CE marking. We are currently working with UCSF for the US side and Frankfurt University Hospital and Bielefeld University Hospital in Germany. As the first digital monitoring solution targeting 6% of the total populations, once we clear FDA and CE marking and prove the real-world scenario, then we believe we can exit after the 3 years. We are now raising Series A fund. First raising will be completed by the end of this year with $4 million. I'm looking forward to your interest. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Jamie. And next up, we have RF Medical, who was unable to actually join us today. However, they did share a brief video for us to share with the audience.
Good afternoon. I'm Emma June, the marketing manager of RF Medical. First of all, thank you for inviting us to this showcase. Today, I will give you a short presentation about what problems we solve, what our solutions and value propositions are, their competitive advantages, and our venture status. In the US, the standard way of treating benign thyroid nodules is to do surgical intervention. However, surgery is often associated with unnecessary financial and quality of life burdens on both the healthcare system and the patients. Radiofrequency ablation, in short RFA, has been used for decades to treat various types of tumors, including thyroid nodules, and is proven to be a safe and effective treatment in most countries. Physicians in the US also have a strong desire for our solutions, but unfortunately, there are no specific CPT codes for thyroid nodule ablation yet. Because of this, patients in the US typically pay out of their pocket to get our procedure. So how exactly is our product beneficial to the patients? Well, RFA is a way of treatment causing aseptic necrosis to tumors or tissues by using really high frequency energy. And this RFA can be used to treat various kinds of tumors, such as liver cancer, lung cancer, renal cancer, bone cancer, breast cancer, uterine fibroids, and even thyroid nodules. In our RFA devices, the generators and electrodes are designed to treat all of these diseases. What we're focusing on the most in the US market is our thyroid ablation device. This is because thyroid RFA has many advantages over the conventional thyroidectomy. When treated with RFA, the patients don't have to get hospitalized as it's an outpatient procedure. They don't get a huge scar on their neck after the procedure because it's minimally invasive, and because their thyroid function remains the same even after the procedure, they don't have to take hormone pills for the rest of their lives, which dramatically improves the patient's quality of life. The average complication rate reported in hundreds of articles is also extremely low. Then what is so special about our products? Well, RF Medical manufactures specially designed RF electrodes that are tailored to each anatomical application, unlike our competitors in the US. They come in different gauges and lengths that are perfect for targeting thyroid nodules and have special echogenic markings to find the needle more clearly under the ultrasound image. We also have proprietary impedance-based algorithms embedded in our generator to deliver the RF energy more safely. In short, we offer RF technologies that reduce healthcare costs and improve patient outcomes at a lower cost than traditional therapies. Next, I'll briefly talk about our product status. For our thyroid ablation device, the ThyBlade, we're currently in process of preparing our application for a new CPT code. Since we already have big university hospitals such as Johns Hopkins, Stanford, NYU, and more as our customers, we believe we can prepare the required clinical evidence soon. For other products, such as the uterine fibroid ablation and tumor ablation devices, we recently got 510(k) clearance and have plans to partner with some KOLs to successfully launch these devices in the US market. Thank you for your time and attention. If you have any questions or interest in our products, please feel free to contact us via Matter or Cosme. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. And I'd like to give just a couple things. So first off, to our partner Cosme for the opportunity to collaborate on this program for now the second year in a row. I'd also like to thank all 5 SMEs. Great job on all of your presentations. They were all fantastic. And also thank you to the audience. Thanks everybody for coming out today to join us. Thanks everybody.